Spend the night at the Bourbon Hotel is more than just a luxurious stay in the French Quarter. It's also a chance to get close and personal with the unliving. Not the undead, but the unliving.
Well, they're dead.
They're dead, but...
So they're not undead.
Okay, so unliving is just another way of saying undead?
No, unliving is the way of saying they're dead.
Oh, okay. But, I mean, why do people say the undead, then?
That's zombies.
Okay. We'll go with that. Okay, so...
We're talking ghosts, not zombies.
That's true. Go to the French Quarter.
Because they're all real.
Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Sandy, and we're Two Tenderfoot Tourists. Welcome to another October edition of Two Tenderfoot Tourists, episode 65, the one about real haunted hotel stays. Okay, this has been a really fun month, and not just because it was my birthday.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
But because we focused on topics that had to do with the creepy and the scary. And that's been a lot of fun.
It has been a lot of fun. I mean, we had Jason Dingledine come in for 2 episodes talking about theme park and amusement park scary stories and actually verifiable.
Yeah, some of them were verifiable, and that was really wild.
That was cool. So, hey, listen, if you're listening and you're going like, what did we miss, go back another 4 episodes, including this one, and we have the first one that you could listen to is Mysterious Maryland. And we did not realize how spooky Maryland was, actually. They got a lot of spooky stuff that goes on there. No, it's not to say they're really spooky. Should I say that?
There's other stuff, too.
There's other stuff, too.
It was awesome. We would go to these things.
Oh, yeah. Totally go to these things. With the Snallygaster and Chessie. The Chesapeake.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Yeah, let me see. I mean, there's...
Wasn't Chessie the one that was a lot like the Loch Ness Monster?
Yes. They just had a lot of, culture, a lot of history, a lot of mythology, a lot of lore that goes on at that place. It's fascinating. Go back and listen to it. It's episode 62. Then 63 and 64, the one about real-life spooky thrills, spills, and chills was with Jason Dingledine.
And he is he's a fun guy.
Yeah, so it's a lighthearted look at the whole Halloween season. So anyway, go back, enjoy those, and you know what? If you have anything you'd like to add to, or you guys like, wow, that's great, I've been there and I experienced that, write us at tenderfoottourists@gmail.com. Let us know. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just let us know what you thought of those episodes. And while you're at it, looking at our podcast on whatever platform you use, iTunes or Android, just give us a 5-star review. Let us know what you think of the show. So how do we want to begin this episode?
Real haunted hotel stays.
Right.
So basically, these are real hotels that you can stay in still, but they say are haunted. During our research, we found that there's tons of hotels out there that they say are haunted.
Endless amount.
But not as many that are open.
That is true.
So that's what makes this extra interesting.
But, okay, so with that being said, I think the first thing we need to go to, which is the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles, California. It's no longer called the Cecil Hotel, but it is the Stay on Main Hotel. This place has a very bad checkered past, and okay, it's I don't know if this is really just a haunting or anything, but it is just a creepy stay. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree.
And that hotel has been around. It opened in 1927. It has 600 guest rooms, okay, and it has a pretty strange, bizarre, and even dark past. So originally when it opened, it was actually built in 1924, but it opened in 1927, and it was considered a luxury hotel.
Right. It took $1 million to complete and had marble lobbies and stained glass windows, potted palms, alabaster statuaries. I mean, this place was meant to be top of the line.
Exactly. And then the Great Depression hit, and then next it found itself in Skid Row kind of a area.
Right.
Because it just got really, really bad.
Yeah. It says here they were finding themselves increasingly populated with transients. So it really dropped
in value.
In value and status.
Yeah. So anyway, it's exchanged hands over the years multiple times, right? It's seen all kinds of people coming in and out its doors, staying.
Did you mention that in 2011, a Cecil Hotel was rebranded as Stay on Main?
No, I did not. I hadn't said that yet. And it did finally exchange hands in 2014 to another man. He paid $30 million for it. As time went on, it needed some TLC, basically.
Because basically they had just kind of slapped stuff together over the years to make it work.
Yeah,
and he wanted to redo it and have it done well.
Exactly.
Quality work.
Exactly. Ever since pretty much the beginning, this place has experienced all kinds of dark sort of things happening, some depressing, sad things happening.
Okay, you've talked to me for several days about this one, and this thing is crazy.
It is.
I mean, it's kind of, I'm sitting here going, why would you want to go there, and how are they still open?
Yeah, seriously. Exactly. As the area where the Cecil Hotel is located, beginning its decline, suicide and other deaths, and violent deaths, that is, on the premises became more frequent. The first documented suicide at the Cecil was reported in 1931. When a man by the name of W.K. Norton died in his room after taking poison. Throughout the 1940s and 50s, more suicides at the Cecil occurred. By the 1960s, the longtime residents began to call the Cecil Hotel the Suicide.
Wow.
So that kind of tells you, like, what kind of reputation this hotel was getting for people taking their lives.
It was the place to be when you did that, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. So, now there is other things that have happened in this hotel. I mean, it's not just suicide, but murders have actually been committed in this hotel, or people who have committed murders did stay at this hotel.
Well, and I mean, it goes hand in hand with a lot of what was going on there. I mean, it was notorious for rendezvous spots for adulterous couples, drug activity, prostitution. Mm-hmm. So the violence was bound to follow.
Right. Have you ever heard of the Black Dahlia?
I have. What was that about again? I'm not really sure.
She was I believe, if memory serves me correct, her name was Elizabeth Short. And she was an aspiring actress, but she also had a bit of a crazy checkered past, if memory serves me correctly. But anyway, she showed up somewhere, and she was basically brutally murdered and cut to ribbons and just laid out in the lawn out in the middle of a neighborhood. Does that sound somewhat familiar? Maybe I'm wrong about that. And supposedly, they had reported seeing her drinking in the Cecil bar days before her notorious unsolved murder.
Yeah, and it was so publicized because of the fact that it was so brutal. And not to be totally cryptic, but it said, yes, it was highly publicized due to the graphic nature of the crime, which included her corpse having been mutilated and severed at the waist.
Yeah, it was brutal.
And I mean, I'm looking at a picture. She's beautiful.
Yeah, she was very, very pretty. So, make a long story short, it was just a very sad and tragic death, and it's never been solved. Like I said, she was reported to seeing a few days before her death, or discovery of her body, was drinking there at the Cecil Hotel at the bar. 1964, a retired telephone operator named Pigeon Goldie Osgood, long-term resident at the hotel, was found dead in her room. She had been raped, stabbed, and beaten and her room ransacked. A man named Jacques B. Ellinger was charged with Osgood's murder, but was later cleared. Her death remains very unsolved. Then, to even add more creepy to the creepy, Richard Ramirez in 1980 was rumored to have actually had residence there. He was a serial killer nicknamed the Night Stalker. According to a hotel clerk who claims to have spoken to him, stayed at the Cecil for weeks. Ramirez may have been engaged in part of his killing spree while staying there. Jack Unterweger stayed at the Cecil in 1991, possibly as a homage to Ramirez. It's kind of sick, though, if you think about it, because
these serial killers and their fan base.
They have a fan. In fact, he even had a woman who, for like a year or 2 years, sent him letters. He ended up marrying her. I'm like, why?
Those women are nuts.
Doesn't make any sense to me. But he had copycat killers that were all, trying to do the same things.
I'm just sitting here reading what it was talking about his fan, mm-hmm. Jack Unterweger, and it says that while he stayed at the Cecil, he strangled and killed at least 3 prostitutes.
Yep.
For which he was convicted later and then hanged himself.
And then he hung himself. And then the most recent thing that I could find was in 2013.
And the most disgusting one.
Oh, gosh, it was the most disgusting one. Well, I don't know. Depending on what...
For this hotel.
For this hotel. I mean, outside the fact that you had a serial killer living there.
Yeah, but
this is
I think people will understand in a moment. Go
this
ahead.
is a new level of ugh. In 2013, it was already rebranded Stay on Main instead of the Cecil at the time. A young woman by the name of Elisa Lamb. Okay.
Elisa Lamb.
So she stayed there, and there's surveillance footage. You can go online and look at it. Have you ever seen this footage? It's really kind of strange and creepy because she gets onto an elevator and acts like she's talking to someone. Gets off the elevator, and basically she just disappears. This is not in the notes. I just know the story.
Right.
Okay. So make a long story short, weeks go by. I think it's weeks. Hold on. So anyway, people are complaining about the water tasting funny. They're complaining downstairs that the water's tasting funny. After they check the reservoir that's on the top of the building, they find her body, and it's been in there decomposing for weeks. But anyway,
the coroner ruled it an accidental drowning, but
anyway, the cistern, the water supply to the hotel, people were complaining about the taste. As it turns out, it was her body that was in the cistern. So, yeah. And I remember that being reported too. And I'm like, oh, that's a terrifying thing. And what do? I stay in hotels all week long. I'm like,
all the time. Never think nothing
let's
of
hope
it.
they don't have a cistern on the top of the.
I start saying not likely, but this was in 2013. It's not like it was 1913 or something.
Yeah, that is just so stinking creepy.
I don't know if I want to stay in a place where that many people died.
Yeah.
Something else that I noticed down here is it talks about the fact that the hotel is also reputable for the loose inspiration for American Horror Story.
Oh, yeah, that's
Hotel.
right. I did read that. Yeah. Make a long story short, which our stories are never short. It is a go-to place if you want to go someplace creepy.
Yeah, I would call it
with
creepy.
the knowledge. I would say you take your own water. Bottled water.
I want to take my own water everywhere now. I'm kind of appreciative of some recent...
I'm serious. That video with her walking in and out of the elevator, it is spooky.
They said on what I was reading that she was behaving really erratically, walking in and out of the elevator, pushing buttons, and looking like she was hiding.
Yeah.
That makes me just cringe.
It was, and as it turns out, they said that she was struggling with
bipolar disorder.
Bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
Which is sad. Make a long story short. Yeah. Okay. So that's one down, right? It's the stay on the Main in Los Angeles, California. Hey, you know what? If you stayed there or if you want to stay there, let us know why you would want to stay there, and if you did. What would you do? Right.
And even better, if while there you heard any ghost stories.
Let us know.
Because that is the one thing we didn't see about it. But we're thinking with all that death, there's got to be some ghost stories for that place.
There's got to be some good ghost stories that come out of that. So contact us at tenderfoottourists@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Instagram. We're going to find it on Instagram. Oh, and also, you know what? You can also find us on our website. I'm not used to announcing our website. What is my problem?
Thank you again to Escapade Design.
Thank you, Escapade Design. I mean, that is a really good website, is it not?
I love it.
It's amazing. You can watch all of our videos. You can see all of our, not all of our, I'm still in the process of putting up photos, but all of our podcasts are there, and you can download them, or you can listen to them online, or you can find links to go to iTunes or to Google Play Store.
Now, moving on to our next place.
Moving right along.
Are we talking now about the haunted Bourbon Orleans Hotel?
Yeah. Okay, so if you want this is considered like one of the top 10 scary or haunted hotels in the U.S. We hear that a lot. But I can totally see, I'm reading a lot of the things that were going on, and holy cow, I can see why they would say that this is one of the top 10. This place...
The haunted Bourbon Orleans Hotel.
How about the Bourbon Orleans Hotel? We can just start there and say that it's in the French Quarter.
And they boast that this is New Orleans' most haunted hotel.
Right. Its early incarnation, the Bourbon Orleans, was not a hotel at all, but it was a theater. In fact, originally when the plans were drawn up in 1806... when the War of 1812 put a damper on its construction, and it wasn't finished until 1915.
1815.
I'm sorry, 1815. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's like, boy, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
But it was around even after the Louisiana Purchase was there. It has a very rich history, and if you go online, you can see like old drawings, architectural drawings of the original theater, the Orleans Theater. It has seen a lot of history.
Well, and what I'm seeing here, they're talking about the fact that it was incredibly fancy. It was extremely ornate. Mm-hmm. And where opera houses were fancy stuff, mm-hmm. This was they said it rivaled most of your nice opera houses too.
I think there was a fire that it ended up.
Yeah, it says right here, 1 year later, the Théâtre d'Orléans met its end in a round of arson and fire. Mm-hmm. So somebody burned it down. They rebuilt it.
Yeah, they rebuilt it, of course. But I mean, there's the Bourbon Orleans Hotel, which it is right now, has been restored to its former glory and has...
No more did they rebuild it, and it became a huge hit.
Yes,
huge
exactly.
Hit. It's just off the charts.
They ended up putting like 218 guest rooms in this place, and it overlooks Bourbon Street and Orleans Avenue. And there's no doubt that this Bourbon Orleans has something to offer everyone. Amenities include heated outdoor saltwater pool and the interior courtyard, free Wi-Fi, complimentary welcomes cocktails at the bar, the Bourbon O. That's the name of the bar, I'm guessing, right? The Bourbon O. And even it's got a fitness center. I mean, it has all the modern conveniences of a hotel that you would have nowadays. It's supposedly very... I don't know. Would you say plush or just very, very nice? I don't know which one.
I think plush works.
You think plush works? Because I was looking. They actually have like a photo you can look online. You can see what the ballroom looks like. So, yeah, I would say that's probably pretty plush.
That's pretty plush to me.
It's very reminiscent of French design and architecture. Wouldn't you go that far?
Well, yeah, that's what they said back here earlier on. They said that it was built in the French provincial style.
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely. Okay, so this place is just amazing. So it has even seen the Civil War, it's seen the Depression, it's seen just all kinds of tragedy. So why is this place haunted? Why is it? Okay, the ghost of the Bourbon Hotel. The Bourbon Hotel is reportedly so haunted that the hotel and its employees have simply embraced the dead, is basically what the article said. I found an article on ghostcitytours.com. You can go look at it, and you can see what we're talking about. That's where we got some of our information from. And basically, like it says, the employees have just simply embraced the idea that, you know what, we got ghosts running around, let's embrace the whole thing. Spend the night at the Bourbon Hotel is more than just a luxurious stay in the French Quarter. It's also a chance to get close and personal with the unliving. Not the undead, but the unliving.
Well, they're dead.
They're dead. But,
so they're not undead.
Okay, so unliving is just another way of saying undead?
No, unliving is the way of saying they're dead.
Oh, okay. But, I mean, why do people say the undead then?
That's zombies.
Okay. We'll go with that. Okay, so...
We're talking ghosts, not zombies.
That's true. Go to the French Quarter.
Because they're all real.
The zombies are... Remember when Kyle and his buddy Will used to talk around what, if the zombie apocalypse hits, what we're going to do.
Oh, yeah, they had a whole plan. That was so freaking funny. And it was it our fault? Did we give him the book?
No.
Yeah.
Was it me that gave the book to him?
I think so.
Was it that book? I don't know. I can't remember what it was called. Max.
I think it's called Surviving a
Zombie Apocalypse or
Survival Guide or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And they were so funny. They sat down and
Max Brooks.
They took it so seriously.
Yes.
We knew they were playing, but they sat down like it was all going to happen
tomorrow,
my gosh. And they had a plan.
I half expected him to do a blood pack right there saying, this is exactly how we're going to do it. And if you deviate from it, then you know what? You're on your own, mister. It was so funny. I miss those days.
That's awesome.
So
back on track.
Yeah. Get close and personal with the unliving, not the undead. Just the unliving.
Oh my goodness. Continue.
Okay, with such a mysterious history, it's hard to say who exactly you might run into during the course of your stay. Guests and employees have reported for 4 main apparitions who grace the halls of the Bourbon Orleans.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I really wish I could do a deep voice. That would be awesome.
The Bourbon Orleans.
So one of the things that they mention in this article is ghost children. And the sad, tragic thing about it, in the 19th century, yellow fever swept through the city, and there was nuns who lived there. The nuns of the Sister of the Holy Family took care of these orphans, and unfortunately their bodies were too weak, and they didn't outlive the disease, basically. They just
That's heartbreaking.
They just died, and it is sad. But guests at the hotel have experienced the back of their shirts being yanked, only to turn around and find the hallway completely empty. And then what else did they say they heard?
Children's laughter.
Is that kind of creepy? Isn't that weird?
I think children's laughter would be even worse than adults' laughter. I don't know why.
You and I will spend like a long time listening to babies' laughter.
It's so sweet and funny and cute, but not if you think they're dead.
Not if they're unliving.
See, okay, they're different. I watch too many scary movies, and you know I'm not equipped for that.
No, you're not.
I don't do well.
You get antsy.
I can't sit still for at home. I get up and move, or I've got pillows in front of my face, all kinds of things. Anyway, I just keep thinking of Pet Sematary and that little kid.
Oh,
and it's just like,
yeah.
Oh, that's not good. It's her laughing.
Tell people what you're talking about, just in case they haven't seen it.
Oh, that he died, and they said if they buried him
in the pet cemetery.
Originally, they said it about a pet, but she couldn't bear the thought of being without her child, so she buried the child there, and then he came back to life.
Yeah.
And he wasn't right.
No,
he was what, like 4?
Yeah.
And he ends up going after, who's the guy that he got? I want to say Christopher Lloyd. Was he in it?
No, not
who
Christopher
Lloyd.
Who was the guy in it? You know who it was? It was Herman Munster.
Oh, yeah. And he cut his Achilles tendon with a scalpel. And I'm just freaking out thinking about it again. It's been years.
Yeah.
I bet it's been 20 years since I've seen that movie.
Well, thankfully, there is no pet cemetery at the Bourbon Street Hotel.
No, but there's giggling little children.
There is giggling. And that's kind of weird. It's like you got the laughing?
The laughing.
You have the laughing children. You have the laughing children in real life, right? But if you hear it like as in a noise in the background, you don't know where it's coming from. Holy cow!
I think any sound from a person sound, when you know nobody's there, is going to scare the daylights out of you.
It will. So now we're going to talk about room 644.
Tell me more.
Tell me more. Tell me more. This is the place where they have a tendency to hear some children playing and laughing and everything like that.
I just read what they're hearing from this room. Okay. The children playing sound, we're talking about how unnerving it is. Worse than that.
Oh, yes, worse than that.
Is hearing the tortured cries coming from 644.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
They're thinking it's inmates is what they're thinking it is.
Allegedly.
The
most haunted room in the entire hotel. For nearly a century, rumors have circulated that a nun of the Sisters of the Holy Family committed suicide in the particular room.
The nuns
have never confirmed it.
Yeah,
or denied it.
Yep, or denied it. So there's no way to actually confirm that anyone has actually has committed suicide in there. The anguished cries from 644 certainly suggest that someone, whether a nun or not,
ask me if they ever found proof of this.
Did they ever find proof?
None.
I see what you did there.
Thank you very much.
That was good.
I'm so proud.
None. Nice. Okay, so I already forgot where I was. Oh, yeah. Okay, outside it's like, well, whatever scary factor that we were trying to, and no, we don't want to do that anyway. It's lost.
Multiple guests have reported climbing into bed after a long day out in the French Quarter, only to be woken in the midst of the night.
Their eyes dart across the dark room, finally resting on a ghost of a woman dressed in a habit standing right next to the bed.
Okay, the movie The Nun just came out, and that's all I can picture, and I haven't seen it, but I don't want to see it either. I'm scared of it.
Yeah.
Now this is just totally creeping me out. I can't.
Yeah,
We're
going to be up late tonight, aren't we?
Probably.
Oh my gosh.
We'll watch some Psych or
that's
Monk
good.
or something that makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
And although the guest no doubt opens their mouth to scream bloody murder, the nun only watches with rapt attention.
The expression on her face, thoughtful and kind. That's not like the one on the movie.
No, the one does not seem very thoughtful and kind,
she's
does
scary.
her? Yeah, she's terrifying.
Really scary.
Children, don't watch it.
No.
Don't watch that.
No.
If you hear the screams in the dead of night, you aren't about to become lunch for the spirits of the dead. So basically, you don't have to worry about it. They're not going to eat you.
Right. I'm sure what they mean by that is that she's peaceful.
Yes, she's peaceful. Okay, so we know we covered a nun who supposedly, and there's no way of confirming that she committed suicide. My question is, why would she commit suicide if that was the case?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it also said that there's nobody that can confirm that it was a nun, but they definitely say someone did commit suicide in that room.
Yes, exactly. And then you have the children, the orphan children who died from yellow fever.
Right.
You know what? I really see a Hollywood horror flick in the making of this.
It could be amazing.
It could.
And that's not even all of it.
No, it's not. Yeah, and you said that exactly. So we got children, we got a nun, and then we got a Confederate soldier, supposedly, that is haunting the area. Do you want to?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
He's been spotted limping down the hallways. His uniform is always tattered and bloody, as though he has already tasted the horrors of battle and did not emerge as the victor. Okay, that would be terrifying.
Yeah, I could not possibly even stay there.
Okay, I just want to point out something as we go through these. I do want to go on ghost tours.
Yeah, but this is like one step.
This stuff is freaking me out.
Yeah, just reading it's freaking me out. Golly. Okay, as you burrow under the covers of your bed, the sound of his hollow and uneven footsteps linger in the dead of night, just as
the scraping of his sword scratches against the flooring. No, it doesn't, because I'm not going there.
But don't worry.
It seems that this wounded soldier is only seeking his own slice of eternal peace, or perhaps the ghost of his brothers in arms, whom he left in the battlefield. Okay. I don't care if he's nice. If he's all bloody and his sword is scraping the floor, right? Sandy's going home. And
leaving me behind. I won't even.
Honey, my footprints are going to be on your back and head.
As you just dance on my face for about 10 seconds.
I would apologize later as long as you made it out behind me.
You know what? After that, I don't think I'd make it. I don't think I'd make it after that. I'm a very sensitive person.
Your heart would be destroyed.
It would be. She
left me for dead. Oh, they said he's harmless.
It's okay. So we have a bloodied and battered dead Confederate soldier. We have a nun and dead orphans. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Man. And so now we have a woman
bathed in moonlight. Okay. In the ballroom. In the ballroom. I swear I am a hillbilly.
In the ballroom, we found a lady. She's standing in line.
Okay. Now listen. I doubt you can pronounce this any better than I can, because we both really bash everything.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say Sal d'Orleans. I really wish I could do an accent. I don't even try, because I know I'm a failure.
Well, you have to use an accent that you're familiar with.
I have to only use mine.
No, because if you can do a hillbilly, Sal d'Orleans, then you got it.
You sound like that dude from the Andy Griffith show. That would get in trouble all the time. He was from the hills, and
I don't remember him.
Oh, I'll have to look him up. Why don't you tell the story?
I was going to say I can do Mr. Haney.
Hello, my name is Mr. Haney.
It's not bad, actually. I'm kind of impressed. I'm glad you don't look like Mr. Haney.
No joke. Maybe I should read this like Mr. Haney.
No, just talk about it.
I can read this as Mr. Haney.
The woman bathed in moonlight.
You're running the ambiance.
There was never an ambiance. So, it's just a lot of mischievousness. But if you get the chance to stop at the former Salle de Loins.
Okay, stop. That's not right.
Salle de Loins.
De Orleans.
De Orleans?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The hotel's pride and joy. Under the crystal chandeliers, you may witness an apparition of a woman still dancing, the hem of her gown dusting the floor as she dances with an imaginary partner. Stranger things than that has allegedly occurred in the Orleans ballroom.
Ernest T. Bass.
Oh, Ernest T. Bass.
Yeah, that's who he sounded like there for a second.
Oh, really?
Ernest T. Bass. Yes. I have issues.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a good show. There's
Andy
nothing wrong
Griffith's
with
show is timeless.
It's timeless. You are correct. But my favorite part is not just Andy Griffith, but Don Knotts.
Oh, that man was amazing.
He was so funny. It is said that a blood stain appears quite often on the carpet floors. Staff will spot it, heaving a sigh as they do, and proceeded to scrub the stain away. They clean it, knowing that it will reappear shortly after.
That would be annoying.
That stain is not the result of a clumsy guest who spilled wine, but a deadly jewel from over a century ago. No doubt two fabulously wealthy Creole men fell for the same woman and decided to duke it out right in the midst of the party itself. Although we have no record or no way of knowing if one of the men died that night, blood was still spilled. And it has been spilling for over a century, over and over. So you have a woman dancing around in the infamous ballroom with a partner you cannot see.
Right.
And then you have a blood stain
that keeps reappearing. I wonder if she's the woman they were fighting over.
Yeah. Now you're kind of putting it together, right?
And you don't see her dance partner.
No, you don't.
Because it could be both of them at different times, you know.
That's true, and that's the reason why they got so freaking jealous. It's because she was playing off of the both of them.
Yeah.
Gosh, girls.
I don't like her.
I don't either. She makes me mad. Okay, I'm just joking. Like I care. So, staying at the haunted Bourbon Orleans Hotel.
It's a hot spot for paranormal activity, and the hotel welcomes anyone and everyone who seeks to experience the paranormal themselves. They actually have a lot of things around there that are geared towards that. I think they like it.
They do. They've actually had TV shows shot there, I believe. Yeah.
That's what I had understood. And they also have stuff like the New Orleans Haunted Pub Crawl or Killers and Thrillers tours.
Wow. So this was the Bourbon Orleans Hotel in the French Quarter area. You know what? Check the place out. You know what? This may be a place for you to experience a lot of paranormal creepiness and stuff like that. Okay, so what is our next one, baby? I mean, what are we going to bring?
One we talked about before, actually.
Yeah, we did talk about this one before, and we've actually been at this hotel.
Right, the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. They have a gazillion stories, actually. More than we can count. We've talked about some of them before, so we aren't going to hit all of them.
Right, and so if you want to go back and you want to listen to some of those episodes, I can't remember which Colorado, because we had 3 episodes of Colorado.
Yes, we do.
And
it wasn't the first one, because that was mostly about the food.
Right. Okay, so, and it wasn't the third one because of the fact that we talked about... It was the second one. It was the second one. So it would be episode 50, the one about Colorado. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. And
we didn't actually stay there. We
visited.
We did a ghost tour while we were there.
Yes, we did. And looking back, we would have preferred probably the historic tour, but it was a lot of fun. I'm not going to say I regret it.
I was going to say, our tour guide, he was fun. He was entertaining, you know.
Yep.
And for a guy, he'd only been doing it for like 2 weeks.
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yep.
I'm sorry. He'd only been doing it for like 4 weeks.
He did pretty good. He didn't talk like somebody that was trying to memorize a script.
No.
He was getting his thoughts together a little bit here and there, but he didn't seem awkward.
You're right. Exactly. We found a website, Thought Catalog, where they have 17 unsettling staff and guest stories, hauntings at the hotel The Shining is based upon, Stanley Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where we're getting our information from. And the cool thing about this website is they don't just tell you about the ghost happenings that people have experienced, which we both agreed that was like really cool, but they also give room numbers. I'm thinking, people on our podcast really have got to hear some of these.
Yeah, okay. All right. Now, room 401. A male ghost who some believe to be an Irish man named Lord Dunraven is reported to be in this room. Although he never visited the hotel in his life, it was built 20 years after he had left Estes Park. It was built on his land he once owned. So that's how they're associating him with it. In the closet, women feel their hair being played with.
What?
An arm around their shoulder or waist.
He's a handsy man.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh, my.
Or a hand moving up the back of their leg.
No.
And he said that it says here that men don't even feel particularly welcome there because sometimes they feel someone is pressing them into their bed.
What?
Or their jewelry disappearing. And it says this was the room where a guy from the show Ghost Hunters.
Oh, yeah.
He slept there, I guess, and his drinking glass was sitting on the nightstand and supposedly it imploded while he was sleeping.
Right, yeah.
And also the closet door opened and closed on its own.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that is a good one to bring, especially in room 401 and the great. I wonder how they know it's that guy.
See, that's what I always wonder about all these because they have an idea of who they think it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do seances or what they do. But
okay, so the difference between this podcast and this particular episode on this podcast and the one we did the last two with Jason.
We can't confirm any of these.
Yeah, you can't confirm these. Not all of them.
These are just stories that people say are true.
Right.
And we have nothing to support that. So,
no.
This is for fun.
So, which one do you want to do? The children, the cowboy, or which one do you want to do?
Room number 418.
Oh, 418? Okay. Ghost children do mischievous thing in this room. Covers are sometimes removed during the night. A little girl, about 4 years old, and her mother stayed in there a few years ago. The following morning, the girl reported being tickled by a little boy during the night. Yikes.
Yeah, that's creepy.
She wasn't afraid, though. Instead, she simply told the little boy to stop.
And he did.
And he did.
Okay. I'm thinking, I would love to have heard this story from this 4-year-old.
I totally would have loved to have done that, yeah.
Well, and I guess in room 407, people have reported being tucked in that room. And there was a little boy that said that he kept getting tucked in over and over again, and he'd kick his covers off and he'd get tucked in again. His mother was really shocked about it and said that she hadn't been up all night and had definitely not tucked him back in. And
wow.
Another guest reported feeling someone sit on the edge of the bed, so she turned on the light and no one was there. However, she did see an indentation as if someone had just gotten up. Oh, that just gives me the willies.
Oh, major willies. You know what? I feel like before we move on, we definitely have to talk about the cowboy, though.
That's one we actually talked about a little bit before. But, it is kind of...
But this is new information. I didn't know.
Part of it is new, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's a cowboy ghost, which we had heard about, that he would stand or sit at the end of the bed.
Yeah, we've heard that.
A couple years back, there was someone who awoke to find a Wild West cowboy pacing at the end of their bed. After watching him for a few minutes, they politely asked him to leave.
Which he did.
I started to say I lost my spot.
Yeah. Which he did, but not before leaning over the lady as if kissing her.
Female guests keep waking up to find him leaning in for a kiss on the forehead.
Oh.
No.
Yeah. I'd love to hear what Olivia would say right now.
No.
That's what she'd say.
She'd say, no.
No. But anyway, okay, so the Stanley Hotel, it is a beautiful location.
It really is.
It sits right there on the side of a mountain, basically, just up looking over Estes Park. It's been around, it was built, I think it was the late 1800s or early 1900s. I can't remember the exact date.
Unfortunately, it's left me. I can't remember
The
anything.
thing is if you decide to go, it does have seasons, right? And also on top of that, because it closes during the wintertime. And also, they have no air conditioning.
Right. And we've talked about that before. It's really important that you really research this stuff before you go. Because we were there during the heat of the summer. Mm-hmm. And just touring the place, it wasn't terrible, but I can't imagine trying to sleep in that.
Well, they left all the doors and windows were open.
Yep, every door and window. Well, and what's funny about that is what happened about a week after we left.
Oh, yeah.
Posted on the internet with a picture of a bear.
Well, it was not a picture, it was a video.
Oh, video. Yeah, a video of a bear walked into the front hall of the Estes Hotel right there in the, what do you call that, the foyer? Yeah, walked right into the foyer, climbs up on the couch, then walks off the couch and walks around the
It was
corner.
a black bear, wasn't it?
I think that's what they said, yeah.
The desk clerk there just filmed it it's like he was staying behind the counter, which I thought was wise.
You could tell he was peeking.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, can you imagine coming out from the back room thinking you heard somebody out in the hallway or something?
There's a bear.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have a bear than a ghost.
But yeah, they keep all the doors and windows open. We even, at that tour, we saw, looking way up high at one of the highest rooms, we saw a wooden TV tray. Yeah. Or not a wooden TV tray. It was one of those luggage trays. Yeah, where you unfold it and you put your suitcase out on it. Was being shoved up in the window to hold the window open.
Yeah. But the grounds is beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous.
We didn't eat at the restaurant, but they have a little cafe below where you can have coffee and little snacks and stuff like that.
We did
do that. And they're very, very friendly there. And then on top of that, they also have a restaurant. And they also have a maze. They do have a garden maze.
It's what is it, shrubs or not shrubs?
Hedges.
Hedge maze. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They were regrowing it when we went, so we couldn't really enjoy that. But that would be pretty incredible to do once it's tall.
So what you're going to find out is this place claim to fame is not only is it just a gorgeous place to stay, but also the paranormal, but also its claim to fame is Stephen King staying in room 217 and having a scary dream or nightmare and inspiring him to write the book The Shining.
Right. It's a huge deal.
It is a big, big deal. So they really capitalize on that. And so anyway, excellent place to stay. If you want to see photos, you can go to our Facebook page. You can go to our Instagram page, and you can see all kinds of photos.
Or to our website.
And you can see all these little photos that we've put up there. We even have photos on our Instagram of specifically our Instagram, not on our Facebook. Instagram, you can find photos of us doing the ghost tour. Now, unfortunately, we could not video it or record the audio because it's copyrighted material, is what the tour guy said. So, unfortunately, nobody can do that.
Right.
But once he's done talking, you can film and video, or you can video and you can take pictures as much as you want. In fact, they encourage it because what they do, get a load of this. If you decide to do the spirit tour, because that's what they call it, and we highly recommend that you try it out. But when you post them, you tag it on your Instagram, they will have a researcher go through and look at all of your photos and see if they don't see something paranormal happening.
Right. They'll look for the orbs.
Or the shadows, or it really highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Next time we go back, we're going to do the history tour. But anyway, Stanley Hotel.
We hope that, this gives you some ideas of places to go. And maybe some of you who have never thought of doing this, maybe it inspires you to step out of your comfort zone and try something new.
No pressure.
I still recommend the Stanley Hotel if you want to get your toes wet.
Oh, yeah. Stanley Hotel is really very pretty.
And I can't remember not the groundskeeper. What was he? The man that screams at people at 11:30 to get out.
Yeah,
as a curfew.
What was he? Was he a worker or was he security? I can't remember.
He wasn't security, but back then that's
maintenance man.
That's who he would have done all that.
Yeah,
but that was one of them that we told in the other episode. But
people start hearing them. They start hearing him yell whenever it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Get out!
He says, "Get out," because he's telling them it's curfew time.
Curfew time.
Yeah.
You know what? Whenever I was a kid, I had this book that I got. Remember when the book.
The bookmobile?
The bookmobile would come around.
I loved the bookmobile.
Or you could, the teacher would pass around the paper and you'd order your books through the school system and everything that. The book orders were a huge deal, and they still are today. I cannot find this book, and I can't remember what it was called, but there was this one book where it's like true haunted house stories, and they had this one in there where it was like in the 1800s, and these sailors who were new to London had never been in there before, and they were drunk and they staggered, and they found this old house that everybody knew you never go into it. They ended up going in there, and they literally got tossed around and something beat the snot out of them, and it was such a creepy story. That stuck with me for years. Since I was in third grade, that story. I can't find that book anywhere. Cannot find it. Anyway, I don't mean to go on a tangent.
No, I want to find it. Now I'm very intrigued.
That right there, I guess that ends this month's October shenanigans.
October shenanigans. I like that. That's true. We're ending our October edition because we're running out of October.
Yes, we are.
So.
And I think we're going to do this every October.
We'll give her a try.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
If you like this, let us know, okay?
Oh, absolutely. And like we said, if you have some experiences of your own, pass them our way because this is fun stuff.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Thank you for listening to episode 65, the one about real haunted hotel stays.
Oh, I love that. To get in touch with us and chat about this podcast or even your travel experiences, simply email us at tenderfoottourist@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Instagram, by the way, just a side note, they're going to find that they're going to want to subscribe to Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, not just one, because we have a tendency to post different pictures in different places. So in order to get all of those pictures, you might want to think about doing that. There's some photos that I have on our website that are not on our Facebook page. So just a little tidbit so you know what we're doing here. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. iTunes and anything Android. We're on Spotify. We're on Stitcher. We're on Google Play Store. We're on CastBox. We're just everywhere. So
this has been a good time. I've really enjoyed it. And now we're coming up on November.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on in November. The next couple episodes we're going to do, enjoyed hearing it. We had some fun down in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Right, it was for my birthday weekend.
Yes, and
you're so sweet.
So be sure to tune in next week and the next 2 weeks. Actually,
right.
It's going to be a 2-part episode, and we're going to talk about great food. We're going to talk about great hotels. We're going to talk about great museums. We're going to talk about great people.
I start to say great customer care.
Oh man, we're going to talk about it all.
Incredible.
So I'm Steve.
And I'm Sandy.
And until next time,
stay tuned.